We're straight going across to a breaking news right now coming in with Prime Minister Narendra Modi has basically tweeted on the tax cut. Remember, this is a big announcement that has been made by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman earlier in the day, which we certainly saw some reaction coming in from the market, with market essentially rejoicing by the decisions that have been made by the Finance Ministry. Let's go across to what exactly is this tweet all about. Remember, the announcement in the last few weeks clearly demonstrated that our government is leaving no stone unturned to make India a better place to do business, improve opportunities for all sections of society, and increase prosperity to make India a $5 trillion economy. Now, earlier in the day, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman also gave another booster to the economy. Joining me right now is also my colleague Abhishek Kapoor on the phone line. Abhishek, remember, the Prime Minister's tweet welcomes these tax cuts that were announced earlier in the day by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. This is a welcome tax cut as far as corporates are concerned. So clearly, the government right now on the move to make all course corrections to ensure that the market bounces back.
Well, Shravan, indeed, and the market has already bounced back with an 1800 plus jump in Sensex since the announcement made by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman from Goa, where incidentally the GST Council meet is happening, and certain some more announcements are likely by evening on the GST reform as well. So, in a sense, what the government is doing and the Prime Minister is underscoring is that this is a decisive government, and that once it became clear that there is an issue with the economy, there is a structural slowdown, the government is not one which will go into policy paralysis or short on ideas, that it will act, it will try to kickstart the economy and pick at the green shoots. We have seen how over the last fortnight, this is the third press conference made by Nirmala Sitharaman, the Union Finance Minister, where she first came out with some measures to resuscitate the automobile sector. Then she came out with measures to bring the construction sector back on its feet. And now we have a situation where all the manufacturing sector is going to see a fillip with this cut in corporate taxes that is announced. It's just not about making it easy for manufacturing in India for the domestic manufacturers, but also for foreign investment as well. So it's clear that the government is underscoring its intent to really do everything that is needed to bring the economy back on even keel. There were concerns, or there have been concerns with the latest numbers of GDP pegging the growth rate at 5%, that the economy was facing some kind of recessionary cycle. And with the measures that have been taken over the last fortnight, as announced by Finance Minister, the biggest one of course today, with the cut down in the corporate tax, essentially Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government telling the world, not just the business community in Mumbai, that India means business and India is ready to reform. Some of these decisions that have been taken, Shravan, particularly the one today about corporate tax is restructuring. Some of them.
Abhishek, if I may also ask you. Abhishek, if I may also ask you, there is one very important provision that has been inserted in the Income Tax Act, and which becomes extremely crucial with regards to the Make in India initiative, the flagship program of this particular government, where they're essentially talking about the option that the companies have with regards to paying income tax at the rate of 15%. Now, this is something perhaps, Abhishek, is going to be welcomed by many industries, and the fact that this is a huge boost once again as far as the Make in India initiative is concerned.
Well, exactly. So what happens is when the overall corporate tax comes down, Shravan, it incentivizes higher production. Though, of course, I still believe that this still does not take care of the supply of the demand side of the economy. This essentially takes care of constraints on the demand side. I beg your pardon, on the supply side, not on the demand side, because demand is something which is going to ultimately lead to more manufacturing, more production. But what it does is it underscores the government's intent that it is ready to work with the business community, with the industry and associations to make sure that there are no constraints whatsoever in terms of manufacturing in India, and it's going to do everything to facilitate ease of doing business. And taxes and tax reform is one of the most crucial part of that ease of doing business, and that's what is happening today with the decisions that have been taken.
So, well, the big highlight is certainly the tax reforms that has been ushered in right now by the government. And needless to say, this is certainly a huge, perhaps a booster that you're looking in, coming in from the government, where the government is going all out and where the Prime Minister is saying that India is heading towards the 5 billion trillion economy. Now, what really changed the market scenario today after Finance Minister made those announcements? Let's get in more details with regards to the reforms that have been brought in. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman had announced a slew of measures to revive the sagging investment in India. Here's the lowdown.